You know that moment when you spread Nutella on toast, and it just hits, right? Well, that simple pleasure has a wild backstory, one that literally starts with World War II. Let me walk you through it. You might think Nutella was born out of pure indulgence, but its history actually begins with scarcity and necessity. The story takes us back to the 1800s in northern Italy, specifically to the Piedmont region, where hazelnuts grow in abundance on the hillsides. Back then, chocolate was an expensive luxury that few could afford. Local chocolatiers, being the innovative geniuses they were, started mixing ground hazelnuts with cocoa to stretch their limited chocolate supplies. This created a paste called gianduja, essentially the great-grandfather of what we now know as Nutella. But the real game changer came during World War II. I know, not where you expected this story to go. During this time, cocoa was extremely scarce in Italy due to rationing and trade restrictions. This crisis forced Pietro Ferrero, a pastry maker, to get creative. In 1946, Pietro, who worked in a bakery in Alba, Italy, created a thick paste of hazelnuts, sugar, and just a smidge of the rare cocoa he could get his hands on. Initially, this creation was formed into a loaf that could be sliced and served on bread, a far cry from the spreadable delight we know today. This first iteration was called pasta gianduja, and honestly, it wasn't exactly flying off the shelves. But Pietro wasn't discouraged. He understood something fundamental about his market. In post-war Italy, parents needed an affordable, energy-rich food to give their children. Now, let's pause for a second. Imagine living in a time where chocolate is so rare that a single chocolate bar might cost more than your daily wages. For many Italians, Pietro's creation wasn't just a treat. It was a revolution that made a luxury flavor accessible to everyday people. Now here's where the story gets a little bittersweet. Pietro Ferrero passed away on March 2nd, 1949, and sadly, he wouldn't live to see what his creation would eventually become. But his legacy didn't end there. His son, Michele, inherited not just a business, but also his father's innovative spirit. By 1951, just a couple of years after Pietro's death, Michele and the team continued to refine the product into a more spreadable version called Supercrema. This was closer to the Nutella we know today, but still not quite there. Michele understood something his father had started, that this humble hazelnut paste had potential far beyond Alba's bakeries. Under Michele's leadership, the Ferrero company continued to refine the product. He was a marketing genius who understood that times were changing and recognized Nutella's potential to grow far beyond Italy's borders. The real turning point came in the early 1960s. Michele recognized that his father's creation needed a rebrand to appeal to international markets. The name Supercrema, while descriptive, didn't exactly roll off the tongue in multiple languages. In 1964, after considerable thought and market research, Nutella was born, combining the English word nut and the Latin suffix "ella" to create a name that sounded appealing across languages. The first official jar of Nutella as we know it hit the shelves on April 20th, 1964. And let me tell you, the timing couldn't have been better. Europe was experiencing an economic boom, and families had more disposable income to spend on small pleasures. Nutella positioned itself perfectly as an affordable luxury, not quite an everyday essential, but not an extravagant splurge either. But what really set Nutella apart wasn't just its delicious taste or clever branding. It was how the product became embedded in the cultural fabric of breakfast tables across Europe, and eventually, the world. Now, let's jump to the 1980s, when all this European success caught the attention of one very ambitious market, the United States. That's when Nutella officially went global. It's pretty wild to think that what started as a small family business in a little town in Italy would become this global powerhouse. But that's exactly what happened with Nutella. By the 1980s, Ferrero had established itself across Western Europe, but he wasn't satisfied with conquering just one continent. They had their sights set on something much bigger. In 1983, they made the leap across the Atlantic and opened their first production facility in the United States. This was a major turning point. Nutella was officially going global. The expansion didn't stop there. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, Ferrero continued to push into new markets. They built factories in countries like Russia, Mexico, and China, adapting their marketing strategies to appeal to local tastes while maintaining that consistent, creamy Nutella experience we all know and love. So how exactly did Nutella become such a worldwide phenomenon? I mean, it's just a chocolate spread. Well, part of the secret lies in Ferrero's marketing brilliance. In the 1980s and 1990s, Ferrero repositioned Nutella as a breakfast food, rather than just a dessert spread. Those commercials showing happy families spreading Nutella on toast? Yeah, that was totally intentional. They wanted to carve out a specific place in your daily routine, and breakfast was the perfect target. But here's where it gets really interesting. Ferrero has always been incredibly savvy about adapting their marketing to different cultures. In Italy, they emphasized Nutella's role in bringing families together. In France, they highlighted its place in the country's culinary traditions. And in the United States, they focused on convenience and indulgence, two things Americans absolutely love. One of their most successful campaigns evolved from World Nutella Day, started by blogger Sara Russo in 2007. Interestingly, Ferrero initially opposed it, even sending a cease and desist letter in 2013. They later reversed course, taking over the celebration that occurs every February 5th. A perfect example of fans creating culture that companies eventually co-opt. At this point, Nutella isn't just a product, it's a cultural phenomenon. It's referenced in movies, TV shows, and songs. There are Nutella-themed cafes, cookbooks dedicated entirely to Nutella recipes, and even Nutella-inspired fashion. The product has transcended its original purpose, becoming something much larger than itself. Remember when Nutella cafes started popping up in major cities around the world? The first official Nutella cafe opened in Chicago in 2017, with people lining up around the block to get in. That's not normal consumer behavior. That's the kind of devotion usually reserved for rock stars and religious figures. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing for our favorite chocolate spread. As awareness of nutrition and health concerns has grown, Nutella has faced its fair share of criticism. In 2012, Ferrero settled a class action lawsuit in the United States for $3.05 million over misleading advertising that portrayed Nutella as a healthy breakfast option. The settlement included $2.5 million for a nationwide class and an additional $550,000 for California consumers, with individual households receiving between $4 and $20 based on their purchase volume. The company was forced to change its marketing materials and provide clearer nutritional information. There's also been controversy surrounding one of Nutella's key ingredients: palm oil. Environmental groups have criticized the palm oil industry for contributing to deforestation and habitat destruction. In response, Ferrero has committed to using only sustainably sourced palm oil. However, activists continue to debate whether such commitments go far enough. So what's next for this iconic spread? Well, Ferrero continues to innovate and expand. They've introduced new product variations, such as Nutella Be Ready, Nutella biscuits, and even Nutella-filled croissants in some markets. The company is also investing heavily in sustainability initiatives, from responsible sourcing of hazelnuts and cocoa to reducing its carbon footprint. They've pledged to make all their packaging 100% reusable, recyclable, or compostable by 2025. As for the recipe itself, despite changing consumer preferences and increasing competition from healthier alternatives, Ferrero has primarily stuck to its original formula. They know what works, and they're not about to mess with success. So there you have it, the incredible journey of a simple hazelnut spread that conquered the world. From Pietro Ferrero's humble beginnings in post-war Italy to the global icon it is today, Nutella's story is one of innovation, adaptation, and excellent marketing. Thank you for watching another episode of Everyday Nuggets. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe for more videos. If you have suggestions for other everyday things you'd like to know about, please leave them in the comments below. Stay curious.